What's up, my people? It's your boy Black here again, my people. Out on that day. Back on the rant zone, still on the matter. What is the matter? As you all know, we bring you the hottest matter on the rant zone. I beg no verse here, I won't use my matter. I won't use that to stop your own matter. But you know, say it matter where I go give you no matter we go do it, we go change your matter, we no go ever do it, matter we go keep you lively and keep you informed. Well, the matter I'll be talking about today is the impact of child abuse. Do you know that cases of child abuse reported in the USA, there are more than 3 million yearly? Wow, that is a very, very serious something. And according to the South African study in 2016, it was revealed that 40% of young people experience one or two form of violence and maltreatment while they're young. And according to UNICEF, 6 of 10 children they've encountered one or two form of abuse before they reach the age of 18. The abuse there could be violence, it could be anything. So let's not talk about the causes of this child abuse. But before we talk about the causes of child abuse, let me give you the concept of child abuse. What do you think child abuse is? Child abuse is any form of maltreatment. It could be in form of neglect, it could be in form of physical abuse. Maybe you're inflicting pain on your son or your daughter by torturing. It could be in form of you not being emotionally there for your kid. Maybe you are not, there's no emotional support there. So that's a form in which this child abuse of a thing. So you can see you neglecting your child, not providing for your child, not giving him or her the necessary needs, maybe not sending him to school, not giving him food, not giving him shelter. You can see you're actually abusing your child. You might not know. Don't go anywhere. So let me quickly still take you further. Another form of this child abuse is child exploitation. We've seen a lot of people around telling their kids to walk. At least at times you go on the highway, you go on in your vehicle, you're gonna see young kids that are still 2, 3, walking goods in photo of these kids' lives are literally being endangered. That's a form of child abuse. Some of you, if you don't know that's a form of child abuse. So let me now tell you about the causes of child abuse. We talk about the forms in which child abuse exists. Because of child abuse, the number one cause is substance use disorder. I know you want to delve with me that anyone that is under the use of this substance, drugs, alcohol, all those forms of drugs, and it could actually lead to a kind of disorder. Disorder can make someone behave in an abnormal way. The kind of disorder that can make someone eat its son, or disorder, the kind of disorder that can even make that person to eat someone else's son. So it's not very advisable to take drugs, because drugs and other form of alcohol, because it could actually lead to disorder. It might be hurting your baby or your daughter or your son without even knowing. And I'll be talking on the second cause. The second cause is poor parent-child relationship. As in, there's this kind of thing we see that the child and the parent, they don't have this kind of strong relationship. That kids, they can't relate things to their mom, due to maybe they see their mom as their mom, she's very scared, this and that, she's gonna beat them. What for? What is that for? There should be this kind of relationship between child and his or our parent, so that the child will be able to relate things to his or her parent. Maybe something up. Let us assume something happens in school, and the child getting home, the child should think, me bringing any problem from home, or being bullied, or someone trying to take advantage of me outside. The first person you should talk to when you get now your mama and now your papa now. But due to the parent not having a good relationship with the kids, you see, the problem don't happen with that. They not go even try tell their parenting, and that thing would actually lead the child to a lot of child abuses, and it could lead the child to a lot of form of danger that we can never think of. And let's talk on another cause that is stress from unemployment, medical problem. There are some people that are going through medical stress. Maybe they have a kind of condition that is making them stress. Maybe they're tired, they might have this kind of malaria. Some might not be having this good, they might not be in a good mood, I mean to say. So they can just try, that mood can take the best out of them. And these people having the dad or the mother having, being in this move can just try and, alter the child physically, emotionally, or try to like, use that thing to alter the child, which is very bad. So no matter the situation where you did, just try as much as possible. Your pikin and your pikin, your daughter and son, they are still yours. So just try as much as possible. You should try to deal with them in a very, very good way. Don't go anywhere. I know you're trying to touch that. I beg, don't touch that. That is still there on the mountain. My brother, our daddy will leave you alone. Oh yeah, my brothers, our sisters will leave you alone. But yeah, my sisters, our brothers will leave you alone. So you're still on the show. So I'll be talking on the lack. I'll be talking on another college's lack of parenting skills. Wow. There's some parents they don't have the skill. Skill of training their kids, as in skill of supporting them emotionally, moving close to them, having this kind of child and son relationship. They have to have this skill, because this skill is very, very important, because without this skill, they won't be able to have a good relationship with their child. And most of the reason why we are seeing lack of this parental skills is that some, they get married at a very young age. How would you expect a girl, a girl of 16 years old, getting into marriage? And that kind of person, what manner of skills are you expecting from that kind of person? That kind of person cannot obviously deliver the kind of skills we are hoping for. And let's quickly look at the cultural views of this child abuse of a thing. Maybe most people don't know that forcing a child into early marriage is a form of abuse, and we have a law guiding this abuse of a thing. There's a law in Nigeria that states that someone that has not been up to the age of 18, that person shouldn't go into marriage. You forcing your daughter into marriage, that is an abuse. A lot of people don't try to like force their daughter into marriage due to poverty. Poverty has just been the cause of everything happening. Everything that happens, everything still traces back to poverty. And even people who have the money, they want to have send their child to marry one allergy one. Very, very, we've seen a lot of girls then they'll have this kind of pregnancy, and their body is just too small for them to conceive that kind of thing in their body, and to even give birth they'll have to go through operations. Some of them, they might even lose their life. And we've seen a lot of views in the society that people use to look at this sexual abuse. There's the kind of view they use again. That's a cultural view, as in we have this kind of physical eating of a child. And let me stretch that further by saying schools, for instance, most of the schools in the African part, they mostly deal with students. They call that thing correction, corporal punishment. By dealing with students in a corporal way, by punishing them, this can inflict a lot of injuries to children, and this has obviously led to a lot of students losing their self-esteem, losing their self-confidence. Just imagine you beating a boy or a girl in front of his fellow classmates. Such students, it's going to affect that student in a very, very bad way. It can affect the student cognitively, as that student, he or she won't be able to think straight. He or she won't know the aspect of things that he should do. But it's a very common something that we've seen in African countries, beating of children, and beating of children will inflict bruises. Well, that is what they use. That's the cultural view of African. But I think they should just try as much as possible. They should calm, anybody misbehaving. They should be a way that they can, associate with that person and talk to that person in a calm way, and in a way that that person will be able to listen. There's been a lot of studies that most of these students that are beaten, most of them, they don't want to go back to school. They mostly run away from school. You can see that, so if they beat one boy, if they beat that girl, he or she feel wrong, come on for school. Just try as much as possible and be calm with them. Talk to them very well. Be calm with them. And another thing there is that some parents in some parts of the world, they try as much as possible. They push most responsibility to the teacher. This teacher at times, they might not be in the best position to oversee all the responsibility of the children. As a parent, you also have your own role to play. You can't expect teacher to do this, do that. You You know, feels like that teacher made you all the do. I know you're trying to touch that. Please don't touch that. You're still on the man's shoulder. I'll never keep you no shoulder. I'll never keep you sleeping. I bet you call person me person. You don't enjoy this thing. You know, this show enjoyment the key. You need too much of enjoyment the key. So call someone to join you. Now let me quickly now talk about the consequences of child abuse. Wow, that's a very, very good thing to talk about, because this child abuse it could lead to many things, and one of the things that this child abuse could lead to, they are psychological consequences. The child has been abused. That child might start having the depression, might start having this anxiety. That child might even start thinking of, looking at himself as is someone that is not worth living, someone that is, not up to the standard of his fellow people, his fellow colleagues that is playing. Another thing that is that the child will have this kind of educational difficulties again. The child might be finding it so difficult to learn things, and the child might be having problem even maintaining relationship. So you see any child that is abused psychologically, any child that is abused any child that is or abuse has led to those psychologically consequences of a thing, they won't be able to maintain good relationship. They can't be able to talk with their fellow peers like that. And let's talk of cognitive skills damage. You abusing the child, you're actually damaging that child in a way that child won't be able to think for him or herself. That child won't be able to think for him or herself. That child will be feeling inferior in classes. That child might not be able to do well in classes. So you can see you abusing that child, that boy. It's a very, very bad thing. Another thing is that post-traumatic stress. That's post-traumatic stress. This is what happens when a child is being abused again. This child won't be able to maintain relationship with his fellow peers. This child will be affected. This child will start thinking. This guy could even be walking on the road and just get himself into something bad, or might just be crossing the road without looking at the road very well. So it's very, very important for a child not to be ever abused. Another thing is that criminal behavior. I know you won't doubt me that most of the criminals we're having now, some of them they have been abused as a child. So a child being abused at a very tender age, that thing might instill a criminal behavior in the child. That child might feel that, wow, this is how the society is treating him, and this is what they should also expect from him. So most of all these attitudes that some people are putting up, why they are fully grown, most of those atrocities that they're committing, those things have been instilled in them. Why they were growing up. So that's the thing. Those things were instilled in them when they were growing. Another thing there is that injury. I know you won't doubt with me that if you abuse your child physically, you beat her before you go sustain injury. That kind of son or daughter might even use her to eat something, which can lead to memory loss, sort of thing that you can never think of. So I'm going to talking about the ways in which we can prevent this child abuse of a thing. So there are a lot of ways in which you can prevent this child abuse of a thing. One of the ways that we can do that is by supporting financially challenged parents. Any parent that you see that this parent is not, he or she is not in the best position to provide for his or her child, maybe the money is not there, you can just try as much as possible to give them items like Junior, Mommy Junior, take this, Daddy Dapo, take this. By doing that, some parents are willing, but the money is not there. And the second thing there is that the idealism of beating children most of the time, you might inflict serious injuries on your kids, and that thing might affect them. So that idealism should be minimized. So that idealism should be minimized. So I'll be talking on another aspect there, aspect in which we can prevent this child abuse. Everything. Another aspect I'm talking of is educating parents on good parenting skills. Some of these parents, they don't have these skills. They don't possess the skills of training their kids very well. They don't have that parenting skills, so you just have to sit them down, create an awareness program that these people they can learn more skills. someone might not know, maybe like a mother for instance, she might not know that, oh, when he as maybe when children, maybe when they are down, that she should move to them and console them, this and that. And some dads, they might know that when they see that their sons and daughters are showing this kind of scary face, or they are not much of their self, that they don't know, maybe they are not aware, maybe they should go through the name. It's not that they don't want to, but they don't just know. Another thing there is encouraging fruitful relationship. Yeah, you won't argue with me that if you see a man and a woman coming together, having relationship, that they really know each other very well and they are really very interested in that relationship, and they never got into that relationship for any other selfish interest, they are going to train their kids very well, and they are going to give their kids more attention. Because some of the children that are being neglected as a form of child abuse nowadays, some of them nowadays, they are not given much attention by their by their dad or mom. Maybe dad is fighting with mommy. Once Junior go and meet his mom will say, go and meet your dad. That kind of thing is something that we've seen much in the society. So we should always encourage a fruitful relationship, as in those that are into relationship, they should try as much as possible, they should be in good time with each other. They should know that I really want to go about those relationships. And I'll be talking on the treatment of this child abuse of a thing. So we have a lot of treatment of child abuse. We have the development therapy. This is the kind of therapy that is used for a child that has been abused, and in the process of the child being abused, it has affected the development of the child. So that is kind of therapy that is. And there's another therapy called the interpersonal therapy. This therapy is mainly for children that are abused and they've now lost their concept, as in their level of relationship. They cannot maintain relationship with anybody. They'll feel down, they'll feel inferior, they'll feel less of who they are. And another thing is cognitive and behavioral therapy. This therapy deals with the abuse that is affecting their way of. This therapy helps solve those that have been abused, in a cognitive, that has affected their cognitive aspects, maybe their way of reasoning, their view of seeing something. So those are the treatment of this child abuse. And another thing that we are seeing in society now is exploitation. Exploitation is not getting too much. Child are being trafficked. Some people, they will leave their daughter into the hands of people to take them to outside country, just for them to come back and raise them from where they are to a bigger place. That is a form of child abuse. Even in case you don't know, you're mainly responsible for the upbringing of your child, for the educational support of your child. For no reason will you exploit your child. For no reason will you tell your child to be roaming on the street, walking, roaming on this express route, walking. You're literally endangering this life of this child. So don't try to do that. And it's so wonderful being on the Rant Zone with beautiful people like you. That's all for today's matter, the impact of child abuse. And do well to be the first to watch my video next time, same hour. And please, I beg you, subscribe to this YouTube channel. I know you are going to come and push the subscription button. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Please don't go. And try as much as possible to please ring the notification bell so that you can see my next video. And another thing, you can follow me on all my social media platforms. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter as well. My username on Instagram is b_rant, and my username on Twitter and Instagram, they are both the same. They are b_rant. And for the Brave browser user, tip me on Brave browser. If you are viewing this video with the Brave browser, at your right hand top corner, click authorized content creator. After clicking authorized content creator, and you click send tip, and after clicking send tip, you're going to specify the amount of bat you want to set. And don't forget to watch my alt matters for the week. And it's so wonderful being here. Love you all. Have a great day. You don't need chop after this show. You need chop. You still got chop. But I don't say one way, one out. You don't know say this show don't fill your belly. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.